2025 was the year I realized that you can be strong, smart, ambitious, and still completely fall apart. I've had to cry more this year than I probably have in the last 10 years combined. I've had to question my plans, my ambitions, my career. In fact, I've had to question everything. But guess what? I've learned some of the most important lessons in life. So today, I'll be sharing 10 lessons that this year, 2025, taught me. So, in case you're having one of those years, let's talk. The sixth lesson I learned this year, and it's a big one, is build breaks because they may be what keeps you afloat. What do I mean by breaks? This could be the little projects you're starting, the relationships you're nurturing, the skills you're developing, those savings you put aside in investment, or even the systems you set in place. To be honest, if I had to look critically inwards this year, what has really kept me through the turbulence are those little or not so little things I had started. They literally carried me through these seasons. And the funny thing is that in stable seasons, when things are going okay, these things may not look like much. But when life shakes you, those breaks may be what keeps you from sinking. The seventh lesson 2025 taught me was to start before you feel ready. In fact, starting makes you ready. A lot of the things that kept me from sinking this year were the things I started when I didn't feel ready. For example, this channel, some of the projects I had done, I Empower Her, Code April, and some of the boldest decisions I had taken didn't happen because I was 100% ready. In fact, if I was waiting to be 100% ready, I'll probably still be waiting by now. Looking back, these things that I started were my motivation, where they were the propelling force that kept me going through the difficult times. They kept me going when things really got difficult. And this year again reminded me that you don't get ready or you don't get confidence to start. You start and confidence grows from there. And if you're listening to me and you have an idea, a project, or something in your heart that you want to do, this is your sign to just start anyway. You're allowed to start messy, but the key thing is that you have to start that. So, yeah, start even if you're not ready. The eighth lesson I learned this year was to keep moving and never give up. That doesn't mean you have to hustle 24/7 or pretend that nothing hurts. It means take breaks, but don't quit on yourself. Adjust the pace, but don't abandon the race. If you feel like you can cry, you can pause, or even reevaluate, then take the next step. And sometimes, some days, your movement could be you get out of bed and send an email. Other days, it could be taking a walk, it could be putting out the application, it could be reaching out to somebody, sending an email, or filming a video, or penning something down. Progress doesn't always have to be dramatic. Sometimes it is very quiet and subtle. As long as you're moving, even though you're slow, you haven't lost. So keep moving and don't give up. The ninth and probably the most important lesson I learned this year is that the dust will settle. There were times this year where everything felt chaotic and unsettling. It felt like someone took my life up and shook it in the air like it were a rug, and the dust was just in the air. There was no clarity, no stable grounds. Everything felt slippery. All I had were questions and questions and questions. But this is one thing I've learned, that the dust wouldn't stay in the air forever. Eventually, the pieces start to settle, just like the law of gravity. Whatever goes up would come down. In the same way, life doesn't stay in chaos forever. Over time, the dust does really settle, and then you begin to see things more clearly. You understand why certain doors had to close, why the delay had to happen, why you had to lose those opportunities, or why certain shifts had to happen. And if you're in that dusty season in your life, know that it won't always be like that. Keep moving, keep pushing. Over time, the dust will definitely settle. And that brings me to the final lesson for the year. And this is the one thing that holds it all together. Even in those in-between moments, what keeps me going is my faith in God. Because when things don't go according to plan, when you don't feel okay, when the dust is still in the air, when you've done all you can and it still doesn't make sense, you need an anchor that is stronger, that is far bigger than your circumstances. And for me, that anchor is God. One scripture I've had to hold on to with my both hands this year is Romans 8:28, that says, all things work together for good to those that love God. It means that even the chaos, the pain, the confusion, that God is somehow weaving it together for good. And to be honest, it doesn't automatically make the pain go away or disappear, but it gives peace in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the chaos. It gives you hope when doors close and gives you strength to keep moving even when you feel empty. So, whatever your belief system is, I'll say this: hold on to God, hold on to your faith, because that's where you draw strength from in your difficult season. Yeah, 2025 stretched me, exposed me, and honestly humbled me. It was not the year I planned, but looking back, I think it's the year I needed. So now, over to you. If you don't mind sharing, what's that one lesson you've learned from 2025? You never can tell who might be encouraged by the lesson you share. And if you found this video useful, please like, drop a comment, and also share with people. You never can tell who would benefit from this content. So see you on the next one.